Let me go get tools and I'll be right back. Be right back. I got to let it warm up a little bit. I'm about to dump cleaner in there. I had to get the machine ready and bring it out here. Now I got to get the induction bottle and bring it out. So you can find these fuel injection induction service kits that use air pressure as assist. You can find them on Amazon with the actual fitting kit as well. Huh? BG came by. Got me a big old giant BG funnel. BG right there. Good evening, good evening, good evening. No, I didn't hear that, Sarah, but let's not talk about that on here because that could get this channel demonetized. So I'll look into that when we get off of here because I'm definitely interested. But let's not talk about that here. What sound do the parking sensors make? That's what they make. All right, so I'm going to bring the machine over here and put everything in the machine that I need to be in the machine. This is the stuff we use here. ValvoIine Max Life. So there's one 4-quart jug. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the seal additive in there. This is the professional series products. One's a cleaner, one's a seal additive. I'm going to go ahead and take the time to dump the seal or the cleaner in there now. A lot of people tell me they can't get the dipstick out of the trans. Well, here it is. There's the hole in the trans right there. All you got to do is shove your hand down in that hole and you could actually get right to the top of the dipstick. Now what I'm going to do is use that big bastard funnel of mine that's made for this. Direct it right into the transmission down there. This is the transmission seal conditioner and sealer. I'm gonna dump this in here with the fluid. This cleaner here, I'm gonna dump straight in here. I'm gonna let it run with that cleaner in there for a while. 49,000 miles. Now we'll continue dumping. Try to get people in here to get their services done early and quit waiting like everybody else, where they wait until they get to 70, 80, 90, 100,000 miles. It's ridiculous. Never follow Ford's recommendations when it comes to service intervals for fluid. It's not a good idea because, well, it's not really Ford. It's people misinterpreting what they're saying. If you're not driving in a severe situation, then you can follow it. But we're all in severe situation. There's nobody that's not in severe situation. So this is called a running flush. There's no filter involved. There's none of that. You catch the vehicle early enough before you put a lot of miles on it and you get everything junked up. You can run a cleaner through it. You can do a running flush. You probably get 80 to 90% of the old fluid out of there with new fluid in. And it's an exchange rate, 1 for 1. In the beginning, you suck out about 4.5 quarts. You empty out the pan. And then Once it sucks all that out, it'll put all fresh in, and then it'll start running the vehicle, mixing everything. It'll go one for one, one for one, one for one, back and forth. You might get, yeah, again, 80% of the fluid out of there. It's not a full-blown flush, but it's better than people neglecting their vehicles, not servicing it at all. I do my transmissions, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I do my transmissions about every 30 or 40,000 miles. And that's max. When I bought my Lincoln Town Car, I did the trans right away. 15,000 miles, I did it again. 15,000 miles again, I did it again recently, but I did a full-blown flush this last time. So it wasn't just a basic pan and filter. The first time it was just a pan and filter, I should say. It wasn't a full-blown flush. The second time, 15,000 miles later, it was a full flush. So you look inside that transmission on that Lincoln Town Car, and that thing is spotless. The fluid is cherry red, just like it came out of the container all the time. Oh, I've got some interesting news for you guys. I got the lab results back for the so you guys seen the lab results for the Mobil 1 Extended Performance 20,000 mile oil? Well, I called Blackstone up today and I said, hey, what's going on? How come you guys haven't sent me my lab results on the Pennzoil Platinum Ultra in 3 months now? My guys are asking for it. They need some answers. And they said we made a mistake. We ended up changing the packaging from the black containers with the label. Now the Postal Service wants us to use actual white envelopes that are sealed. So there was a delay with how everything was being processed because we're having to change everything. They said what we'll do is it's basically an appreciation to you. We'll send you 4 more containers with the envelopes and the additional envelope for the one black container that you already have, so there's nothing slow anymore. You'd be surprised at the results for the Pennzoil Platinum Ultra and how much better it actually did over the Mobil 1. And through talking to their analytics team, how they analyze everything, getting to the bottom of why the silicon rate was so much higher with the Mobil 1 versus the Pennzoil Platinum Ultra. I threw a little curveball in there to kind of catch you guys by surprise, so people can't talk trash about me on one opinion that I've had before, and I could put it to bed for once and for all. And then I'll never listen to anybody's opinion on it again because I actually have hard facts, this versus this, and I controlled it in a manner that I can prove it. Alright, so I'm going to have to do this raw with no funnel. I don't know how the royal purple is. I can only... Todd, I'm not asking you or anybody else to defend Mobil 1. I've already heard enough people over the last few months call me names, attack me and stuff, tell me how much they like Mobil 1. And I kept telling them, look, I understand that. I'm not coming down on you guys for that. But the more you push me and the more you tell me how much you like Mobil 1, the more I'm going to hit you with education. And I'm going to make you feel like a fool for liking Mobil 1. Because everybody feels like they need to tell me they like Mobil 1. They like Mobil 1. I don't care. That's fine. I accept the fact that you like Mobil 1. I accept the fact that you like purple hair. I accept the fact that you want to get married to a toad. I don't have a problem with what you do in your life. I just don't have to have everybody tell me how much they like Mobil 1 with no facts behind why they like Mobil 1. I will show facts and tell people why I don't necessarily care for Mobil 1 and show them and put it in front of them. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, but I don't care for it, and there's reasons for that. As a professional, I have to educate people on those reasons, not just because I feel or I like. Alright, so shut this off now. And it's nothing against you. I'm just, you said something and just using you as an example. There's a reason why Project Farm had Pennzoil Platinum Ultra all the way up there next to AMSOIL. There's a reason why Brian from Fortec Make You Local recommends Pennzoil Platinum, Pennzoil Platinum Ultra. There's a reason why the professionals out there that do this stuff all the time really like that stuff. It's not because we're just trying to make stuff up. We're the ones that don't have the marketing gimmicks. We're the ones that actually care about people, yet we still keep getting pushback from everybody else because I think deep down, secretly, they feel like they've been duped. They feel like they've been pushed to like something for so long, they don't care to change because that's all they know. Literally, that's all they know. It's like my little girl telling me she doesn't like broccoli, and I'm like, why don't you like broccoli? Well, because mom doesn't like broccoli and I've never eaten broccoli. Well, how do you know you don't like broccoli? Because it's a learned behavior, and people have no real education behind why they learned that behavior. None of them really are classified as a full synthetic until you actually get to the ones that labeled 100% synthetic. They all say full synthetic, but none of them really are actually full synthetic, other than the ones that have the rights to say 100% synthetic. So then I fish this tube down in front of this. Oh, there we go. It's going in now. All right, we're in. The tube is down all the way. It's got a center insert down there that won't let you just put anything down there. It centers the tube or the dipstick. So once you get down in there like so, you've already got all your fluid and stuff in the machine. Go ahead and put your cap back on. Your seal additive's already in there. So the only reason I really like Pennzoil Platinum Ultra is because of how it's made. It's the closest to an actual cleaner synthetic than anything I've seen that's not an actual true synthetic. And the additive package, how quiet the engine is while it's running. It's just super quiet, and the oil always looks really, really, really clean. So, and you can actually get on the Blackstone lab test, when you're looking at it, there's actually a rating on that test that tests the quality of the filter as well. They want to see if there's any filter, or if the filter is actually doing its job, so it's called an insoluble rating, and you can actually compare one filter versus another on whether or not it's doing its job during the lifespan of that vehicle. So this one, we're going to do what's called a dipstick exchange, not an inline exchange. An inline exchange would be pressure. Wait till you guys see the numbers and you'll see how much better the Pennzoil Platinum Ultra is versus the Mobile One. You'll actually see the difference on the silicon rate and what I did to prove a specific group of people that swear by a certain filter that they're completely full of crap. And I set this up long before anybody knew what was going on. And I told you guys I would have something for you. I told you I'd try something in a controlled manner that a lot of you would be quiet after I showed you, and you would stop doing what you were doing as soon as I showed you. And then some of you are just going to ignore it, and you're not going to do normal exchange. I'm going to do no cleaning because I've already been running the cleaner through it. Engine's off, and it's going to pull. Now it's going to start pulling. Now all the dirty fluid's coming out. Now this line turned real nice and black. And how this up here is now all black, it's pulling all the dirty fluid out. I mean, yes and no. Dark engine oil, there's nothing wrong with it. That means the additive package is actually dispersing, it's actually suspending, it's actually doing what it's supposed to do from keeping contaminants from collecting in certain areas and bonding. It's actually doing its job. So dark motor oil isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's actually not a good thing either. If you got a clean motor, you're not going to have super dark oil. So, Todd, to an extent, I would agree. But some are better, some have better additives in it, and some protect a little bit better than others. You can't say AMSOIL with 70% more detergents than other oils is the same thing. It's not comparable. All right, so in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get this flush induction bottle set up and pour the ValvoIine stuff in there. Oh, it's sucking dry. Let me show you what it pulled out. Let me see if I can. All right, so now it's going to start exchanging back and forth now. So now whatever it pulled out, it's going to pull back in, and then it's going to tell me to start the vehicle so it can start cycling one for one, for one for one, for one for one. But we're going to delay it, and I'm going to show you why we're going to delay it, because we're going to do the fuel injection service at the same time we're finishing the transmission service. I'm sorry, if I'm not looking at the screen, I don't see the question. Sometimes I don't go back, so if I miss it, you'll have to re-ask me. Would it change my transmission fluid? No, it wouldn't. We'll look at it. The next time I see your vehicle, we'll look at it. I don't know the difference between the two. I haven't got into transmission fluids, to be honest with you. This stuff here smells like straight nail polish. This stuff is strong. Look how turquoise it is. Well, I mean, you could run stuff through the tank. You can run it through the throttle body. This is more of a, like a cylinder type cleaning than anything. You know, it's not so much valves on this. You'd have to use like a seafoam spray through the throttle body or something to that extent. This right here is going to be like combustion chamber cleaning. That's what this is for. Even though it's a, it can be used for intakes. You can fog the intake system with this. Maybe we'll do that. Let's see here. Should we fog the intake? I'll show you how to do the entire system. Let me see if I can set this up real quick, and we'll fog the intake.
Bring some s'mores from. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna bring I'm bringing all the fucking s'mores, man. Something's getting burned. Make some kebabs. Something's getting burned down to the ground.
All right, so now I'm going to take you over here and show you what the system looks like here. This is your feed rail for your high pressure fuel pump, right? So you're going to have to find the right fitting to go in here and block this end off, and then you're going to have to find the right fitting to adapt from this, which is the tank here, over into the high pressure fuel pump. So with that being said, I need to pull this blue fitting off and put a ragger on it to release the pressure into my hand, and then I'm going to find the right fittings to go on there. What's up, Paul? Alright, it decided to release itself. Now we'll move forward.
Is there any way you can story this one out? Sorry. Yeah. No. That's okay. Just a story. That way I can close it, put it at the cashier, and you just give the keys to the cashier for tomorrow.
That's all.
All right.
We're gonna do a half and half. I'm gonna do half the bottle. I'm gonna let it run through the intake a little bit as well, and then I'm gonna put everything back together, and I'm gonna run the other part through the combustion chamber. I'm not gonna do it all just through the fogger. I'm gonna show you guys how both of them are done. So on this side here, I've got my block off tool in there, right? It's got a sheet needle check valve. Some of them don't have this. Some of them are just made to check. And then on this side here, I've got my quick connect feed line. And then we're going to take the tool and then I'm going to hook up air pressure here. All right, I've got it set to about 55 psi, 55 psi right in there. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. I'll leave it right where it's at, just for right now. And we'll get a feel for how the vehicle's running. This sight glass is clear right now, which means there's no fuel going through it. So basically all I have to do is flip that. We're up. Fuel pressure dropped down to about 45. And we'll get an idea of what we're doing while we're running it. I want to pull it up to about 50, ballpark about 50 psi, right there. So now, we've got no leaks, our fuel pump's primed, the fuel system's primed. This thing is telling us to go ahead and start it so it can continue its transmission flush. We got our fluid in, we got our line open. Let's roll, baby. What's it?
Don't rush. When you're done, just throw it out, leave the RO in my desk and the keys in the board.
I can take it up there to her.
Nope, it's all good. I'm going to close out the paperwork on Saturday morning. He's going to pick up Saturday. I already booked you out for this.
Okay.
And it's 1 hour for the other one, and then I just need the lock code for the recall. I'll book you that out on Saturday morning.
There's no recall.
Oh, I thought there was.
It's not a recall on that.
Warranty extension?
They're not going to pay for that.
No, not the connector. There was a recall on it.
No, that recall doesn't apply to this.
No, okay.
It has to be malfunctioning in order for that to happen.
Okay.
All right. We're running a little bit rough right now. Let's go ahead and boost up. Yeah, that one's not coming in. It's not loose. It's not anything.
Okay.
It's all nice and snug and tight on top of the vehicle.
Okay.
All you have to do is walk around and try to tug on it.
Okay.
Introduce a little bit of air into the system. Hey, you go try to start this thing for me, can you? Yeah. Yeah, I had a little bit of air in there. I had to boost up the fuel pressure just a little bit more on the gauge. Yeah, so that air that pushed out of here into the fuel line pushed into the injectors and it had to bleed out. So now we're rolling. Go ahead and start this. You're good. We're good. I'm going to bring the fuel pressure back down just a little bit. Help push some of that stuff out of there. Probably somewhere right around right there. We're good. So as I told you before, this is doing 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. So we're giving her a little tune-up basically, in a way that she hasn't been touched in a while. See, now the fluid coming out of it, you can see as it's running, it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. It was really, really dark before, and now it's kind of like a lightish, like a grayish red. And as it's moving back and forth slowly, it's cleaning more and more and more out of there. You can even try to put this down in there just a little bit more if you have room. So when this is done, I think I'm going to switch it. I'm going to switch it from this over to the fogger. Actually, no. I'll give it till about 7 quarts, 8 quarts, and then I'll switch it. The landscaping truck wanted to see pictures of everything, and once I showed them pictures of everything, they were like, okay, so maybe maybe we do need harnesses, because all the salt that's in everything is terrible in this truck. There's no special cleaners in mobile. There's no. And when people say stuff like that, I don't get that. It's got the same type of additives that everybody else does. I mean, honestly, you'll see, we'll talk about it when I make a video on how the Purelator did in my motor versus how the Mobile did in my motor, and you'll see the clear numbers, the difference between iron, the difference between aluminum, the difference between some of the bearing material and stuff. You'll see. Let's just say overall, my motor doesn't show to be having any problems at all, no matter what oil I put in there. mean, I'll check there, Fred, and if I find a spot there, I'll definitely do something about it. But there's only so much time you can continue to put into something chasing your ass over and over and over again, and then you got as many hours in it as it would have taken just to replace the damn harness anyway. I mean, I'll look, but I don't want to get to a point where I'm putting so much time into it that they're upset with us and they're not even getting new components. At some point you have to throw your hands up and say, it looks like we're doing harnesses, man. I just can't keep putting time into it. I'll do the Pennzoil video tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, and I know people will be excited. I pause it and I'm going to switch the fuel over. What oil and filter do I recommend? Something like a Napa Platinum, a Wix XP, a Purelator Boss, a Fram Ultra. Find a Ford filter. If you can find a Ford Motorcraft filter and you just want to use an OE style filter, I prefer a Ford OE filter versus any other OE filter. It's just a better filter. And the oil that I like is a full synthetic, but it's something like Pennzoil Platinum Ultra, or some people have said they like that new Castrol line. It's a synthetic that's rated for like 20,000 miles or something. It just all depends on what you want. Just put good oil in it and put a good filter on it. I'm going to set the fogger up now. This is what I'm going to put in there. It's a fogger nozzle. I've got it pointed at the throttle blade as it's running, and then I'll try to keep the pressure a little bit lower. You don't need to spray, you don't need to run this at a super high pressure. And I'll go ahead and restart this so it can continue where it left off. Press start to resume. Okay. All right, it's resuming its flush. The side I'm running it on is not the intake side to the turbo. The intake side to the turbo has a filter in front of it, right? And then the turbo sucks it in, and after the charge air cooler, where it comes up into the throttle body, that's where I'm putting it, on the after the intake side of the turbo, so it's all engine exhaust out. Some people have an issue with that because they say if cleaners actually start to clean turbo fins and stuff, where do you think that stuff's going to end up? You know, a lot of people have issues saying that if something starts to clean from the intake side, where do you think it's going to end up? That putting cleaners and stuff through a turbo will actually start to wear it seals and things of this nature, which there may be some truth to that, but you know what, at the same time, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't make an attempt to clean anything, what are you going to do? You're going to just let it build up? I mean, what are you going to do?
I'm still working. Working on getting out.
Yeah, this stuff is strong. This stuff, you could dump it right on the carbon on like valve and stuff like that, come back a couple hours later and see it's all turned to like mucky. This stuff I like. I don't like some of the other stuff. It's kind of weak. This stuff is strong. It's like an operating table.
It's working good as
That's what's good. Okay, it says to finish. It sucks it out and puts it in. Yeah, and cleans it. I'm gonna pull the wand extension out. And then I'm gonna bring the machine over here and drain it. so you can see what color the fluid was. I'm going to start it back up. It wasn't actually terrible, so they caught it in enough time. Come on, you fucker. Zero for menu. Go down to 7. Drain used tank. 7 is drain used tank. Connect the red hose to the service line. Got it. It's in the hole. Got it. Enter. So the fluid wasn't actually that bad. I mean, it's dirty, but it wasn't terrible like some of the stuff I've seen. You know, it's still got a nice red tint to it with some dirt. So they actually did a good job by getting it done, getting the trans serviced early and not letting it get nasty black from the line. It's got a nice red tint to it still. It's not all gunky and stuff, so it's good. They did it when they should have. It's got a little bit of dirt to it. That's exactly when you want to get around to it. And it's got the right mileage for it. Send it. Oh, our ValvoIine service is done. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll shut this valve off here, disconnect the air line. Put our dipstick back in there real quick. Not quite hot yet, but it's kind of more towards the 1/3 mark in the crosshatch. Damn it. Come here, Bobby. We're right here in the crosshatch. Hot is here, cold is here, and we're right here, right in the middle. Kind of like more towards the lower half of the middle, towards cold. Because it's all fresh fluid we just put in there. That's normally where it is too. Whenever you do it in neutral, you do it in drive, either way, it's normally right in that area. Well, a lot of these have dipsticks. People just don't even know that they're there. Blackstone, they're actually getting a hold of the podcast guy. And he's supposed to be reaching out to me so we can sit down and talk about oil and stuff. So that's interesting. I can't wait to sit down with these guys. And if you have any questions and stuff too, remember, always let me know what you're wanting to hear from people when I talk about me getting the opportunity to talk to them. Yeah, I'd like to do the same thing. I was talking to some of the analysts today about oil and stuff in general, and I said it almost makes me laugh on the way people jump on the bandwagon and want to hang on because their boy band is just so awesome because the bottle looks cool, or their father's uncle's grandfather's cousin's brother's sister used Mobile for so long, and that's why they do it, and they just think it's the best thing ever, right? So I'm talking to this analyst today, and he said, don't you get a kick out of that? Because it's a lot of the same companies that make the same oil. They just rebottle it, repackage it, relabel it, but it's the same damn oil amongst many different manufacturers or different distributors. Let's go wash our hands and go drive it. I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick and then we're gonna go drive this Explorer. Make sure everything's shifting good. Then they give you a cleaner to dump into the fuel tank as well. I wonder if I should even dump this in here right now. It only has 34 miles to lead. No, right? Put it on the front seat. Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Less is more.
I'm not going to dump that fuel treatment in there right now. I'll leave it in the customer's seat so they know whenever they go to fuel up to put it in there. They only have a little bit of fuel in the vehicle right now.
Chief. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Well, they definitely need tires, dude. That's not even like that.
Let me write these stories real quick.
Yeah.
So we parted at Latifah. What up, bro? Oh, sorry.
He's a good guy. Oh, good boy. Yeah, Srvc and Elgin in the house tonight. Margaret, it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Hey, how long did it take to do that 20 on 11 roof rack? Drill the holes, put the clips and stuff in.
Not long at all.
Because it's active on this and these rails aren't loose. So you just got to put the clips in, right? Or you don't touch them.
Clips are as required, you just put the push pins. I think it wants you to remove and inspect.
I think it says only remove if it's coming off.
Right, okay. If it passes, then just install fastener, I think. You're correct.
I'm going to put it outside because he already left. And I told him I wasn't sure exactly how it was supposed to go. Like I knew you were supposed to do something, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. And then I started thinking about it just now and I was like, I think no matter what, you're still supposed to put the little Christmas trees through there. They got to go in. But Adam's technically not open right now. He's doing his paperwork. Administration is administrative shit. So I don't know if somebody wants to take the time for it tomorrow or not, but I'm not doing it tonight unless they come back for it. I do. I don't know who's working with me. There's Duda? It's me and Duda, and then you're next, and I'm taking tomorrow off because I didn't have any. Ron? No, not Ron.
Brian.
Brian?
Yeah, Brian. That's right, it was me and Ed. That's right, yeah, it was over there. It
Yeah.
was that guy. So Ed had one door last.
But these roof rails on their cars, they're tight. They're really tight. They don't even move. I think the higher trim ones, like the nicer, like the platinums and stuff like that, if you look at the way they're situated on there, they got like little rivets all the way down the side of them. For some reason I don't ever see them coming off, but it's the lower trim level that I see really having a hard time. But I don't know, it could be all of them. Let's go drive. I'm gonna go put this on my service rider's desk. What is it? Oh, PTT's here? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. I didn't even see you here, man. I did not even see you. Gotta go, bath time. Drive-by shooting over here. It's gonna make me all hot and bothered. Come on, guy. At least offer me over. I'll let this thing run for a second. See if we get any smoke coming out the exhaust. That stuff cleans real well. Oh, you know what? Let me go put this kid away before I get in trouble. The wall. The wall. And it's small compared to some shops. Nope, I got the battery backup on it. Phone is charging currently right now. And the backup, it says, is at 4 bars. So we're good. Battery backup is on. The BG stuff is the best stuff in the industry. I mean, ValvoIine is good too. It's strong, but the BG stuff it's expensive though. We're not going to drive very far. We're just going to go down a road and come right back. Just for the simple fact they don't have a lot of fuel in this thing. Put my seatbelt on. It's going to disconnect and then come back, so it might drop. Don't go nowhere. I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you. And then after this, I get to go home. Booked out some big jobs today. It finally feels good closing some stuff out, so real good. Whoa! Everybody, thanks, Cody. I'll get you a touch. Okay, Fred got the peck on the cheek, and you'll get the peck on the cheek and the touch now. Okay, you paid for some services. No. This old girl, she moves good. This is one of those 3.5 EcoBoosts, so these move really quick. So I'll take it easy on her. Yeah, it is thirsty. That's why I don't want to drive that far. I found out I can get food on the way home right here. I didn't know Dunkin' Donuts was open 24 hours. All right, y'all, that's the end of it. So we're gonna go ahead and yeah, Wendy's closes I think at 11 though. So sometimes when I'm working till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, nothing's open. You know, you can't stop anywhere. So that's it. That's the end of the live stream. I just wanted to share that with you guys and give you the update. We will have something from Blackstone Labs here soon. I'll showcase it on the channel tomorrow. We'll go over what it says. We'll compare the Ultra to Mobile One, and kind of my my testing that I did with some. I threw a variable in here to show the difference between something versus something and show you the major difference between the two, and ran the Mobile One at a lower mileage, and it actually did worse at a lower mileage than the Pennzoil Platinum did with 2,500 extra miles on it over the Mobile One. And then I'll show you the difference between a specific number on there where I threw the variable in versus the one where I took the variable out, and I'll give you the comparison, and then you can look back in previous videos if anybody wants to challenge me, which most of you that's been here for a while know that when I tell you tomorrow what the variable was and what I used as a kind of like a, not so much as a control measure but something different, you'll see that in previous videos I actually showed you doing exactly. You just don't know what that is yet. You might not quite think about the discussion we had a couple months back, but when I say it tomorrow and we go over the results, you're going to be like, oh, I remember that, and I actually remember him putting something in the community post about that, and I remember seeing the results early on about that, and I remember him pinpointing something, and now we can see the difference between the two. So tomorrow is going to be a big day when we look at numbers and we actually talk about a certain product that was used in the vehicle, and where we took that product off and we put OE style product back on. So we're not going to talk about what it is yet. Some of you may know, so don't spoil it for anybody else. And I'll show you the difference between the two, and we'll talk about how one did better than the other by a landslide. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. It's always it's always a blessing having you guys here. So I'll catch you later.